With my scene right there. This is a French scene that I'm working on. I want to improve it a little bit more. This wall right here, and maybe the floor also. I'm gonna add maybe displacement on this to have more solid look for this mattress and mattress sheet. But overall, it's coming together. It's pure render without Photoshop, without anything, and the illumination is pretty good. So let's go and check out the passes right here. So this was, come on. So we have a diffuse filter, we have global illumination, luminance we don't really need. We can see how really nicely we get lighting. So let me show you what's going on in my scene. I wanted to have here really nice shadows entering my interior. So in order to do that, I've right here I wanted to have really nice shadows to entering from that room. So what I did is I went and I placed multiple photometric lights in circle, positioning different ways, so the light will bounce from the walls. Some of them create shadows here, and what I've got is, as you see here, I got like one shadow and there's another shadow. You see, so this is what those photometric lights create, and I got really nice line of shadow right there. So this is what I was aiming for. This one is global illumination pass from Vray. You can see the distribution is pretty much clean. I rendered this image, by the way, with irradiance map and light cache. It was 1.5 hours of render, pretty fast. As you see here, we get those bulbs being reflected because I have 2 photometric lights right here, and I have also 2 photometric lights right there. So I think maybe it's come from those lamps. So this is a raw lighting pass, as you see here. We can also see the glass being reflected. So if you're going to use that pass, we're going to use it like in really minimal opacity, just to have it for a feeling and not for the look. This is the raw reflection. This is refraction. Here's raw shadows. So if I want to dim this light, I can use this shadow and invert it. Here's raw total lighting. You can see that light here also being appears right there. Reflection, all the reflection objects, and we have also filter that we can use in order to use that reflection. Refraction, everything that refracted, glass object is a refracted object right there, and of course the filter for this pass. Shadows, specular, total lighting, and wire color. I also could add the self-illumination for those bulbs, but I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you in the night scenes how to work this out. Let's just concentrate on the day scene for this matter. All right. And the last one is in Z depth. I needed to set it up to control the Z depth in it. Okay, so it appears to be black, but because my Z depth is really long, I could I needed to drag it somewhere here in order to get my z depth calculated correctly, and I can also set the z depth right there, maximum z depth, minimum z depth. So you might want to tweak those parameters to get really nice z depth for your rendering. Okay, let's go to Photoshop. And as you all know, the first thing that you want to do is basic color correction. You might state basic color correction. You might also do the exclusive color correction that I showed you. I'll do the basic method. All those methods you can find in my Photoshop post training that was given with this workshop. Just go ahead and download from module 3. Download this this PDF file. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add a little bit curves. So I'll get really nice shadows and maybe a little bit more of a lighting, something like that. So I get more contrast. I'm bringing more contrast to my image. I also want to check always my exposure, if I'm in right exposure. So your eye will indicate if you're in the right exposure. So something like this will work better. So you can always click the preview and see how it was before, if it's ruined, if it's too much. So something like this could work better. Same thing with brightness contrast. It basically works like curves, brings more contrast, but with brightness contrast you get more saturated colors. So this is why I don't really like to use it, and instead I'm using the curves. So something like that. Press the preview to see if it's not too much, if you're not overdid it. So maybe the brightness is alright. Contrast we can add a little bit more. Something like this will be just fine. Okay, so a last thing is color balance. Just to balance my colors a little bit more. As you all know, I'm doing on the midtones and on the red tones I'm adding a little bit of a color, and on the highlights and the reds I add more of a bluish illumination coming from the window. So maybe it's a little bit too much right there. You want to tweak it. So as you see here, I got this yellowish colorization over all my image, and when I tweak it I get really nice bluish light, appearance of light coming into my window. So remember always, if you did it and it looks too much, you always can press Ctrl Shift F, bring the fade panel and reduce your last effect. So I'm going to reduce it because it's a little bit too much. I'm going to reduce it to 50% because I still want to have here a little bit of a yellowish and here of a bluish illumination. You can also duplicate the layer and bring more blue from this side and more yellow from this side, and then combine them together. It's also nice method to do. Let's see. Let's start to add passes and see how can we improve our image. So the first pass is going to be the diffuse channel. I'm going to add this diffuse channel. Oh, by the way, after you did it, just in case, sometimes Photoshop gets heavy. If you build all the passes, it can crash down. So what you want to do is you want to save this image right there. You want to save it. Let's save it and call it normal. Okay, this is what I most of the time call my images, or basic, you know, like basic color correction, and this is how it is. I'm gonna save this image, and then I'm gonna add the diffuse pass, and for diffuse pass, for diffuse pass we can use it on the screen mode if you want to make our image lighter, brighter. We can use also it on the soft light mode if you want to add more uh, more saturation and more accuracy to our image. So as you see here, while I'm adding this, I add more detail. Also saturation. So don't go beyond, don't go too much for this. By the way, this is not the proper passes combination. I repeating it. This is totally my you can call it exclusive way by adding passes. Why it's not? Because I'm working with exponential, and exponential is burning pixels into, while rendering is burning pixels into your image. If you want to work linearly, you need to render with linear in 3D Max. I will do another workshop explaining the linear method. It's a little bit different from this one and more accurate, more exact. It's more like physics, you know, like multiply or dividing or adding, you know, something that is more constant. But with this method is a really quick method that we can use in order to improve our images quickly without any headache or something that that needs to have a lot of understanding of how passes working. Okay, this one is a global illumination mode. We can use it on multiply. As you see here, it's darkened a little bit our image, but it brings more of ambient occlusion to our image, to our image. And if we use it on soft light mode, we add more of a contrast and more of saturation. So let's see, the screen is soften it some. Yeah, I might use it as a screen and go and add the next pass. Illuminance I'm not going to add. I'm going to add this lighting pass right there, and lighting pass, if we put it on screen, we can see how all the blacks colors are going away and how light starts to appear in our image. So this is a nice way to work it. Global illumination pass is also a nice pass. If I'm using ambient occlusion, I'll be using it in multiply. You can use this one also in multiply, but as you see here, you get black shadow. So what you can do, you can Control A, Control C, copy the same pass, layer mask, you can reveal all, and then in channels you can paste the same mask, the same actual the same pass, and I just use this pass to create a mask. And this is a nice trick that allows me to remove those black areas right there. Alright, so I just use this black color if I have a black color, so I'm using this particular black color to isolate it from a layer, to make this mask, make this isolation. Alright, so this is what I get. It's a nice ambient occlusion pass, and we can see how it starts to appear in our image. Maybe it's a little bit too much, so I'll be using something like that. Okay, the next one is Vray raw lighting. This is a raw lighting. It's also a really nice pass, and I'll be using this pass. You can just go ahead and try different modes for that, but you see here color dodge works really not bad. It's maybe a little bit too much, but it's a little bit too saturated, but we can work this pass. Here's also overlay, a really nice appearance, darkened areas. We might want to use it on the overlay mode right there to add a little bit more darkness to our image. Okay, let's go ahead and see the next one. Next one is raw reflection. I'm not using that often this pass because I like to use the reflection with their filter. So if you still might want to use it, just use it on the screen mode to remove the blacks, and then just add a little bit of reflection, something like that. Don't go beyond like 12 or 20 or something. 30 will bring too much of reflection. Just add a little bit of it, and we'll be using the next pass to do that properly, right? So the next one is raw refraction, the glass that we have. Also, this one can be used on the screen mode, and we can see immediately how our glass starts to get overexposed, like that. So something like this could work just fine. Let's see, the next one is raw shadows. So regarding the previous pass, don't overexpose it, because we have another refraction pass that we can use with the filter. So I'm going to show it to you just in a bit. This one we can use, I think, on the screen mode. If we have, we can, as you see here, we can dim our shadows actually, and we can equalize them with the help of this pass. You can also increase the saturation by using this pass and by adding more of a shadow look. So this might work just fine, and a little too much, something like that could work really good. Next one, total lighting. Total lighting here as well. This one can work, by the way, as ambient occlusion. If you put it on the multiply mode, you get really nice ambient occlusion, but I'm going to use this pass. We can use it also with overlay. It gives us really really saturated results, and you just go ahead, try, play with it. This works. You start to develop feeling, because like every image got different aspects, and you need to know how to work with every pass, how every pass can add something to your image. So you just go ahead and try this out. Try, make tests, make as much best test as you can, just to get the feeling of how you can use each pass at it best. Okay, so here we come to the reflection pass, and for the reflection pass we have a filter right there. So I'm going to Control A, Control C, select the filter, I can close it, and then as you saw here in the previous layer, mask, reveal all, and then I go into channel and I click the channel and I press Control V, I paste it into the channel, and Control D to deselect, and voila, as you see here, my my reflection pass is being added. So it might be a little bit too much, so you can always control it with opacity. Okay, so this is something about that could work good. Okay, the next one is refraction, and for this refraction pass we have also filter. We can use it, by the way, on the screen mode, just to isolate, the simple way of using this pass, and we can use it also with its filter right there. So this one also Control A, Control C, close it, layer mask, reveal all, go to the channel, paste it right there, come back to your layers, unhide them, Control D, and voila, you have your pass working. So sometimes, as you see here, we get those sort of weird lines going on along our object. So what we can do is we can use the screen mode to fix that. Okay, so something like this could work just fine. All right, okay, so let's see what we got next. Shadows path right there. Okay, the shadow path can work on the screen mode. So see here we get really nice shadows. With this path, if it makes too sharp shadows, what you can do, first of all, you can work locally and blur those shadows. You can, with the blur tool, for example, right there, you see, oh, I blurred it before and after blur. So you can just, in a few clicks, just blur it a little bit, but I still wanted to have a sharp shadow right there. So we can do it like that. Can reduce its opacity just to fit it better to your image. You can also try working with this path in other different modes and check how this path works. You might find also that soft light mode brings more saturation to your image, darkens the areas, darkens the image, and might supply a more photorealistic result. So it basically works on the matter of, if you add passes that darken your image, you can add passes that lighten your image, and basically those passes will equalize the effect and bring your image to the correct state of visibility. All right, here's the last path right there. This one is total lighting path. Also, so if this image is a little bit too dark, we can use this path to lighten our image, and voila, we get really nice result right there. Let's add final pass. Well, let's do this. Let's save this first. We got 13 passes here. It's a little bit too much for, it might be a little too much for some computers to handle, because this is 16-bit channel. I'm rendered PNGs, so it takes a lot of RAM. So this is our original image, this is our passes correction, and we might save it as PNG right there, and we call it passes. Okay, and we can open the passes and the normals. Just close it. Just before the close it, let's just open those two passes. Okay, and we'll see the difference between them and analyze it, and we can close that. No. Okay, so here it is. This is the render, and this is the pass corrected. So we can see a lot going on here. So some things are better in our original render and some things are not. So what I do most of the time is I just put and combine them together, and I see what works better. I can work locally, I can remove or add stuff, but this is most of the time what I use. I just use elements that worked in render better and I combine them together. It's not always 100% of this and 100% of that. It might be like 30-50 here, 20 20-80 here. You know, you work with your mask and everything just to correct all the aspects that were rendered, that had a error in render or were not rendered properly. Okay, and the last one is ambient occlusion pass. This is the 14th pass. Control A, Control C, and I'll paste it here. And I also going to use this pass as an isolation mask. So let me show it to you. Layer, reveal all, go to channel and paste it. Control V, voila. Going to a second, this one's gonna close that. Gonna go to layers and Control D. Now I can see my my layer pass right there, and well, I might want to remove it from the flowers. I might want to bring it back, so I'm gonna use the white color of the mask, and I'm gonna bring a little white color. Gonna bring those blacks to the roses. All right, so this pass is being used on the multiply mode. Is almost all the time the same thing. Sometimes you got too dark areas, and you might want to fix that by using less, something like that. So when you on 100%, you just go and check all the areas that got a little bit dark spots, and you just fix them with gray color or with white color. After you did that, you go ahead and you reduce this layer opacity. So as you see here, our shadows start to appear, all the details starts to come out, and this is something that works really nice. So sometimes if you make your image and it looks too bright, you can use this pass to dimmer the illumination and to correct your shadows and details and everything. Sometimes there is objects that's like blown away and you don't see any detail in it. It's like white, and after bringing this pass, you will be able to see those details. Okay, something like here on the lamp is going on right now. It's really blown away, but after bringing this pass, I start to see this line right there, and also all those lines here, and the nice details on the ceiling. Okay, so for this pass, there's another small trick that you can do to fit it better. Put it on 100%, and then go to your layer, to your image, adjustment, color balance, and give color to your ambient occlusion pass, because it comes, most of the time it comes in gray, but as you see here, as I'm playing with it a little bit more, I can fit this layer to match my image better. So as you see here, I brought a little, it's hard to see right now on the preview, but after giving a little bit on the midtones and a little bit reddish effect, I was able to sort of equalize and remove this pure gray color and give it a little bit of a color. So something like this. Let me show it how it looks on the normal. See, it's got a little bit of a yellowish and a little bit of a reddish illumination, so it fits better my image. If you work with exteriors, you might have it have more bluish illumination. If you work with interiors, you might want to have sort of yellowish reddish touch to your ambient occlusion pass. Okay, so here it is on 100%. Now I'm going to reduce it back to 30, 20. Some people use it at 50. I don't like to go beyond 20. I just like to give like, I don't know, 20, 25%, just to have a nice little detail effect to my image. And that's it. I'm gonna merge my my image right there. So the next thing that you want to do is duplicate it, and as I already showed you, you can add a really nice glowing effect here, light coming from the window. So you're gonna do this by putting white at the background and going to the filters, distort. Oops, I need to switch it to 8-bit channel, and only in 8-bit channel. This is why you do it at the very end, because after it's changed, you switch to the 8-bit channel, you will not be able to go back. So I'm working on a 16-bit, and I do all the color correction, all the passes combination, everything with a 16-bit, just in order to have this pixel depth in my image, in order to bring all the missing details back. If it's overexposed, if it's underexposed, the information is there on the 16-bit, so I'll be able to bring it back. And at the end, I'm switching to 8-bit when I'm satisfied with the results, and I start to do different light manipulations, painting light, or doing those glows effect in order to have light appearance in my scene. So this is what I do is by adding glow effect right there. See here, I get really nice glowy effect coming from the windows. Also, as you see here, all the whites got here this same effect. So what I do is I'm adding a mask, and I'm removing this from all these places, because this is white walls, they shouldn't have that. You should get this, but this one is alright. This one right here should have really nice glowy look to it. So now it looks too glow, and this is the reason why I don't like to make it too much. So don't go beyond 30, otherwise you're gonna get really glowy look to your image. So something like that could be really nice. So you see here, before, after, I got really nice soft glowy look to my image. All right, and I'll merge. Wait a minute, gotta fix that a little bit here. Oops, like this. Okay, cool. And maybe I'll put there a little bit more of a light. Let's see. Yeah, let's see the Nicolor plugin. Merge down, and let's see the Nicolor plugin. It's a good way. Thanks, you brought it. Color effects. Here's a Nicolor. So Nicolor plugin is made for do really nice and different looks for your image. What I like in Nicolor is I just go through those different passes just to show you what it is. But what in Nic plugin is really good in my taste, in my opinion, is the sharpen effect. I think, yes, this one is tonal contrast. You see here, it's like it's really sharpened. It's a little bit too much, but we can always reduce it. So this is something that let's just compare the sharpen of the Photoshop. If we do the sharpen here, right there, boom, you see our image got really nice sharpen effect. This is what I always do, by the way, to my images. I bring sharpen, I give sharpen, or I use the noise, reduce noise. It's also a sharpen This one got more control on the sharpen areas right there. So here it's also really nice. Okay, so let's do the sharpen, and let's see the tonal contrast. This brings really nice sharpen and brings really nice contrast. So this is one of the filters that I use with the Nik software. Also, vignegetting I like to use. For vignegetting I like to use image looks builder. It's really nice plugin. We might see it also today if we have enough time to do that. If not, I'm gonna show it to you next week. Really nice white neutralizer. This is something that we most of the time do with Photoshop with color balance. We bring the color balance to our image. But as you see here, this white neutralizer is neutralizes my yellowish effect, and as you see here, adjust whole image. I can really correct my white balance just by using this this parameter, and this is the effect of the saturation that brings this that neutralizer brings to our image. So this is something also that is that I found really nice with this plugin. Okay, same here. I'm not going to use this I don't know over 30-50%. I always like to reduce its opacity. This is a good way to start in building your images. And when you're satisfied, you can just go ahead and merge those layers. Okay, so this was before, this is after using Nik. Nik also got a lot of different other stylistic like a sky filter that gives really nice yellowish color balance to your image, as you see here. I might add it also just to have this, just to see how it works, just to have maybe a little bit more color, and gets here color, here color. It's something that works nice. Merge it down. What else? Let's see. There was a pro contrast. This is also not bad. I think I meant this one for bringing. No. This one is. I'm not really using this one. So as you see here, there's a lot of different filters, but what I've showed you, I used the most. Here we got also ink. This is something that brings sort of color processing method to our image. I think I showed you how to do color processing with Photoshop. If not, I might also show it to you now. I'm not sure that this image is good, because to have really nice color processing, you want to have stuff like water and metal and stuff like that. Film grain is also something that nice. If you want to add it, just add it in the corners. It will give you really nice effect. But I prefer to use Lux Builder to do the vignegetting, to do the chromatic aberration, to do the film grain effect, and to do the blurred edges. This is the 4 things that I do. Also, I add some crunches and I correct my curves in Lux Builder. But in Nik, you can do this stuff in Nik. Also, if you don't have Lux Builder, you can use this to do the vignegetting right there. You get different types of vignegetting. But tell you the truth, I never used it, because there's better programs to do that, in my opinion. Yeah. was nice, but I still prefer Lux Builder. Okay, so there's a lot of effects right there, but I'm not using all of them. As I showed you, I use to add more contrast. Sometimes I use this naturalizer to bring more, to fix my color balance in my image. Tonal contrast, yes, solarization, no. Skylight filter. So these most of the filters that I use: skylight filter, tonal contrast, and white naturalizer. Excuse me, that's it. This is what I use. Okay, so this is our image. It looks pretty good, I tell you. You know, I never thought it will come out that it's not that good. We can take it even to the higher production level. So let's just save it, for example. Let's still stay in PNG, although we switched to the 8-bit mode, but passes, and let's call it Nick. I always give names to the images after what I added. You know, like we did the normal, the basic, then we added passes, now we added also Nick, and now we're gonna save that image. Okay. And why I don't like saving JPEGs? Because it automatically compresses the image and there is no way back. So I rather stay with PNG, even if it's 8-bit. PNG at this point supplies better results. So let's see if I have this with me installed. I'm not sure I installed it, by the way. I hope so. It's supposed to be the red giant. Lux Builder, where is that? No. I think I need to install that. Yeah. Sorry guys, I totally forgot about that. I'll show you next week how to use Lux Builder, how to do that. You have also really nice examples in my in PDF file. But this looks good, all right. I think. What do you say? Here's another cool plugin, by the way. Let me show you this one, and the next one will do the Lux Builder. But this one is also cool. This is called Color Effects Pro 3. It got really nice things going on there. If we go here, we got also film grain. Actually, I sometimes I use this film grain because I have like a lot of nice control to it. And if you don't have Lux Builder, you can get this plugin. I think it's way cheaper than. And you have fine, you have medium, those bigger splotchy dots. This one's something that, whoa, it's too much. This is something that I also like to use. Oh yeah, it's too much. Okay, it always depends on how big is your resolution. Oh, sorry, it's Nick. I'm showing you the Nick again. I just misconfused it with a different plugin. Sorry for that. Let me show you what I Digital-Tutors 55 millimeters. Yeah, I wanted to show you this one. For this one, it's also really cool plugin. I got it like really long time ago. And it got really nice different blurry effects, something similar that we have in Lux Builder, that we can achieve also by using this one. This one also looks really good. I mean, I used it before. Like last year I discovered Lux Builder, so I started to work with it, but before that, for like 3 years, I was working with this 55 millimeters plugin. So as you see here, we get some really nice blur effect, blurry edges, something that Lux Builder also have. You can always press Control Shift and you can control the amount of blurriness that you bring to your image. So if it's a little bit too much, something like this could work just fine. Okay, always when you're working with this plugin, always try to duplicate your image and add different effects to it by the separate image. So you see also different gels and stuff. Gradient, lens. This is what I like in this. This is what I actually use this plugin for. We have here lens distortion, so we can do different lens distortion. It's something that pretty much cool. You can also do the diffrage for different colors. We have here a really nice vignetting effect, and as you see here, it also comes with the blur amount. So we can use it, soften. Okay, something like this. Wow, something like this looks really nice. So you don't need to blur edges. We have the vignetting in this one already built in. So here you go. Something like this could work just perfect for our purpose. Okay, this looks really nice. Alright, click done and you'll be able to edit, then duplicate your image, and let's add some chromatic aberration. This is also a really good plugin to do those chromatic aberration. You got really big control right there. So maybe the first thing you want to do is chromatic aberration, and after that you want to add the vignetting, because you will start to blur them. Right now I really don't know how it works. So this is what I first do. I do the first chromatic aberration, and then I blur the edges, and let's just zoom in and see how this stuff works. You see here we started to get really nice chromatic aberration in our lamps, and as you see here, this shifted to the green, and this shifted to the cyan and magenta. Got a little bit too much on our door, so where's the green here? We're gonna shift it back a little bit. So too much of it. Okay. So something like this could work fine. As you see here, we got really nice chromatic aberration going on there. Okay. So maybe this one is a little bit too much. The whole point is with making chromatic aberration, it doesn't supposed to be seen really clearly to the eye. It's supposed to have a little small of a feeling, and that, by the way, doesn't appear in all places. It appears in only specific places. Chromatic aberration appears most of the time where the light is really strong, and it comes with conjunction with different white objects and stuff like that. So you also should know where to put it in order to have it distributed correctly in your scene. Okay, so something like this could work fine, because you see I don't see here any chromatic aberration. I start to see it right there, and I have it in the lamps a little bit, and I have it on my chandelier right here in the lamp side there. So after I'm done, I can press done. I get those channel shifts, and sometimes I'm not really satisfied with them. So what I do is just remove them, just like by adding a map, and adding a mask and just removing them like that. Okay, so this is it. I have them a little bit here, so something that works fine. Okay, so this image looks not bad at all. Still, I'm not 100% satisfied. I'll show you next week how to do close-ups, how to do different light manipulations with Lux Builder. I need to install it. I forgot to install it because I haven't reached that stage of making this image come true, alive, and photorealistic. But still, the result is not that bad at all. I mean, it looks pretty much convincing.